What up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. So yesterday we got some pretty big news that's going to create some seismic changes throughout college athletics, not just college football. We received word that as a result of the House versus NCAA case settlement, that not only will $2.8 billion in NIL back pay be paid out, but also this will establish the framework for future revenue sharing to college athletes. In other words, college athletes will be paid directly by the colleges, which, first of all, I saw that and I was like, well, obviously that's huge for the athletes because I think that's where we're heading anyway. And I know people are saying, well, the NCAA still doesn't want to refer to them as employees, where I think that's where we're heading anyways. But I heard this and I was like, okay, I'm happy for the players. I'm happy for the athletes, but I had some questions. What could this mean for other, the smaller schools, the schools that might not be on national TV as often as, say, a Miami or a, Duke basketball or Alabama, Georgia, SEC, Big Ten football, basically anybody in the Power Four, that the brands that matter. What does it mean for sports that really don't bring in a lot of revenue? Your golfs, your tennises, your things like that. What does it mean? Because it's going to change everything. This will have pros and cons to it, obviously. And I had some questions. Well, first of all, this isn't a question. This is something I think is going to happen. I think the rich are going to get richer. What does that mean? Bigger programs that are on national TV every Saturday, they're going to reap the benefits of this. And the smaller schools, group of 5 schools, teams like that, I'm not sure how they're going to make this work, because we're talking upwards of $22 million a year being paid out to their athletes. And, there are schools that have the budget for that. There are a lot of schools that don't. So how are they going to make that work? Sponsors, corporations, are they going to get involved? Is it going to be like soccer, where you're going to see, sponsors on the jerseys and things like that, or like NASCAR, they have all the ads all over the car. There's different ways this can go, but I think the big programs, obviously getting the money is not going to be too much of a problem. But that's going to be kind of my main concern. It's okay. Where's the money going to come from? Probably, again, big name sponsors, donations from boosters, from the school's budget itself. Again, smaller schools, I don't know how they're going to do that, but I think I've always believed that another place that the NCAA is heading towards is kind of like, what the English Premier League has for soccer. It's like a tiered system where you have the English Premier League #1. Those are the top 20 elite teams. The 2 bottom teams at the end of every season get relegated down to the lower leagues, which is, I think, called the English Football Championship League or something. And then the top 2 teams from there get promoted, that sort of thing, where, we're not basically all 130 teams aren't playing for the same thing, nor should they be, because there's teams way at the bottom that they're never going to play for anything. It should be divided up. And I think that's where we're eventually heading as well. Also for scholarships, players are going to be paid. Do you even need a scholarship? We were already seeing this with NIL. Guys were coming on, like we saw with Cormani McClain getting signed as a walk-on to Florida. Obviously, he's a talented player. He's not a walk-on type of player, but he may not need the scholarship because he's getting big-time NIL money. That's just an example. Now, on top of that, you're getting revenue sharing. Players are getting paid directly. Do you give half scholarships, kind of like what you do in baseball already, to save money? If you give full scholarships, how many do you give? So there's ways they can work this. But this is interesting. I'm not sure. I'm a little nervous as to where this is going to go as far as the sport. Again, I have never been against paying players. I've always believed that, hey, those 60,000 people, 100,000 people, whatever, the amount of people in the stadium, the players are the ones that fill that stadium every Saturday. When you're turning on the SEC on CBS and you see 100 and something thousand at Rocky Top, Tennessee versus Alabama, who puts those fans in the seats? The players do. Okay. It's not the coach. It's not the, the university administrators. It's not the sponsors. It's not the referees. The players put asses in seats. Okay. And they are adults and they should be compensated as such. That being said, this could get crazier and could get more Wild West before it gets better. So it is a positive step in the sense that, hey, players are getting what they should be getting paid. And maybe this can open the door for some control, because here's the other weird part of it. I know part of this is that the NCAA now can't get sued. That's kind of part of the whole settlement. Okay, the NCAA can't get sued. All right. Does that open up the door for more, shady backdoor stuff? That it's very strange. But could it blow up in everybody's face? It absolutely can. But we're just getting closer and closer to college football being what we always thought it was, is just basically a minor league system for the NFL. And what does this mean for, players that might not go to the NFL, just they're, getting their degrees? Goes back to the whole scholarship thing. It's a strange thing. I love to hear your guys' thoughts. Let me know in the comments what your concerns are. There's good and bad to it again, but I'm sure we'll discuss more with other content creators and we'll discuss on the show in coming weeks. But yeah, this is big is an understatement. Massive, I think, is an understatement. This is college sports will never be the same again. The college sports we knew, that's gone, for better or worse. Anyways, those are just my thoughts on the subject as of right now, 24 hours removed from the news coming out. But anyways, again, please let me know in the comments, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. As always, go Canes.